the closer you get to the speed of light, the slower time is for you. So everything around you, time starts passing faster.
Everything that exists right now is not just what I can see and experience.
Like every planet in the solar system is also like
the elements.
You know what I mean?
Like
yeah,
the
like the periodic table. How is there not like other things that aren't on the periodic table? Welcome back to Everything and Nothing.
Hello.
This is episode number 10. We're finally at double digits. We've been consistent. We haven't missed a single episode as of yet, and we don't plan on doing it anytime soon.
True.
Today's episode is going to be a sort of sciencey one. We've got some sciencey kind of topic that we've researched beforehand, and we're just going to dive into things and talk about them and just explain it and just chat about them because we generally find these things interesting. And yeah,
we're getting our thinking caps on, guys.
we are getting our thinking caps on. So
without further ado, Einstein over here is going to start with the first topic.
yes, I've got some notes because some of the topics that I'm interested in are complicated and I'm not a scientist. So I needed to have these notes with me. But so you've seen Interstellar, right? The
Yes.
movie Interstellar.
Great film.
For those of you who haven't, watch it. Amazing film. And the premise of it is, how do I say this about? I guess I can't really. It's going to get spoiled by the topic we're talking about anyway. If you haven't seen it, the premise of it is it's like a space exploration movie, and then the main character at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, goes into a black hole, and he somehow manages to like use the black hole's like universe thing to kind of like time travel, and it's like a big time loop thing.
It's so trippy.
It's really trippy, but other than the stuff that happens after the black hole, everything that happens in the movie is basically like at least based on like real physics and real science and stuff. So that like really intrigued my thing because the whole of like time is relative type thing about, yeah, we're going to dive into it all. So the topic that I've got is basically about time and space and potentially time travel, which is really, really cool. The fact that it's even somewhat like theoretically possible. So you know the scene in Interstellar when he's on that planet of all the water and there's a giant wave that comes running towards them.
Yeah. It's so creepy.
I don't know if you know this. In the soundtrack to that song, there's like a ticking noise in the soundtrack. And every single time it ticks, it's a certain amount of time that passed on Earth. Those ticks in the song happen every like second or so. And because of a thing called time dilation, every time that ticks back on Earth, it's a whole day passing.
Mm-hmm.
So as they're going about whatever they're doing on this planet, this wave's come crashing towards them. This soundtrack's ticking and ticking and ticking in the background. Days are passing. And the whole thing, the scientific term for that like time difference is called time dilation.
Mm.
So as you might or might not know, time is relative, which basically means the faster you're moving, the closer you get to the speed of light, the slower time is for you. So everything around you time starts passing faster.
So in theory, the planet that those guys were on where the time is moving quicker.
Yes.
Is that because the actual planet they're on is moving quicker?
Yes, I think so because of like where it is in the solar system and stuff like that. I believe so. It'll be something along because time's basically affected by speed and gravity as well. So it could have been like the gravitational pulls and stuff like that. This is why it's technical because it's very sciencey and I'm not a scientist. But yeah. But that got me thinking. I was like, right, so if that's real, that means that technically, because time slows down, if you're moving like very close to the speed of light, everything else is you slowing down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Technically, you're traveling into the future. Because if I move at the speed of light off of Earth, let's say, and however long I'm gone for, like 10 years has passed on Earth, I come back because time's moved faster for me. I'm not going to have aged 10 years.
Oh.
It's a really weird concept and a really weird thing.
Like you said in Interstellar, the whole thing is that like when they come back onto Earth, their whole family is old. Like, isn't it like the main character, spoiler, he comes back and is it his daughter or someone is then now older than him?
Yes.
And he's seeing his kids older than him and he's still young. And they're like, where have you been? You never came back kind of thing. And he's like, for him, it's not even been that long.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so weird.
Yeah, it's such a creepy thing. But it got me thinking. I was like, obviously, this is a theoretical thing because like you can't survive traveling at the speed of light.
Mm.
But because we now have ChatGPT, I tried to ask it basically how long you would need to travel at the speed of light for a certain amount of time to pass. So like, so for example, if I wanted to go into the future for 5 years, like I wanted to go 5 years into the future, how long would that take if traveling, like how long would that take me traveling at the speed of light to do?
This is saying as well, time moves slower in stronger gravitational fields.
Yes.
So it means if you were near a black hole, you'd age a lot slower than someone far away from a black hole.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of similar to what you were saying, really. Because I think, isn't it something to do with like, you see this kind of image online in some places, and it's like how it's like a fabric, and it's if it's like a kind of sheet,
yeah, it's
and
almost
things
like you
are pushing down
on
it. Yeah, so it's like the bigger pulls. I don't know.
No, yeah, that is right, because that's why that's basically what Interstellar's based on, because
like
he goes into the black hole, and obviously we don't know what the fuck is on the other side of a black hole. Like once you're through it, it's just like there's literally a term for it as well. It's called spaghettification, because the gravity's so strong, it basically just like obviously will crush everything, and like but it will like technically speaking, it will like string everything out like infinitely. Yeah, it's crazy.
Put me into a bolognese, love.
In fact, but yeah, I need to try and find this thing on ChatGPT, because I searched it up and I was like, I want to know. Obviously, it's theoretically because we can't survive traveling at the speed of light, but how long would it take me traveling at the speed of light to be able to time travel into the future? Because that shit piqued my interest, and I had an answer somewhere. I'm just trying to find it.
When I was in primary school at sports day, I thought I could travel at the speed of light in my relay
the speed
races.
of light. Where was you in the relay? Do you remember? Like what? Because obviously there's multiple people in the race. Were you like first? Were you last?
Third.
You were third. Oh, good one.
I was kind of like, you know, not. I wasn't like.
I can't remember how relay like tactic goes in terms of like where you put.
I was never first or last. I was normally, I'm pretty sure I was third, and we used to do quite well. I did used to do sprints in secondary school though, in sports day, 100-meter sprints.
In secondary school? Well, you did 100 meters in secondary school.
I got stamina.
Fairs. 100 meters is like the one you need the least amount of stamina for. Stamina's like the one you don't really need for 100 meters.
I actually, in fact, have nothing of the sort. If I had stamina, you wouldn't catch me walking through the, what is it, 1,500 meters they make you do?
Something like that.
I walked the whole way, and then also my school, bless up, allowed us to opt out of cross country.
Oh
so
my God,
as you can imagine, I opted out.
I don't remember doing cross country in my school. I must have done it at some point, but I don't remember doing it. Okay, yeah. So using all the formulas and stuff to figure out how long you would need to travel at the speed of light for, it works out to about 26 days. So you would have to spend 26 days of consistent travel at the speed of light to end up essentially traveling 5 years into the future. That is nuts. Like, imagine if it was possible to actually do that. Would you do that? Give up like basically a month of your life. You're just going to be sat in this, whatever it is, taking you at the speed of light to travel 5 years into the future.
Nah, because I want to live, laugh, love in the moment, you know?
Yeah, to be fair, if I could time travel, I want to go back. I wouldn't want to go forward. Would I actually?
I wouldn't want to go forward. I want to experience
if you could time travel and come back, so you're not stuck there. You just get to go and visit. You can stay there as long as you like, but you get to come back if you want to.
What if I wait? What?
Into either the past or the future. I was
just about to ask a really stupid question. I was just about to ask, what if I'm dead? Like, what if I die in those 5 years? But then I wouldn't. I'm here. I'm traveling, so I can't.
Let's just say there's one.
Or does my presence exist in the current life, and then I'm time traveling?
It's not like
I can see myself.
Obviously,
like I want to see what position I'm in 5 years. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you want to do like a Back to the Future type, go into the future, like see yourself.
Like I want to see me in the future.
Yeah, let's just say that's possible. Would you do that then? You'd go into the future
just to have a little glimpse, probably, just to see what I'm saying. Although,
to be fair though, yeah, I think if you could come back from it, yeah, anyone would go into the future.
But then there's also that little thing of like, if you see something you don't like,
you see when you die and how you die,
or you, because you know you're kind of your destiny in those 5 years, if you will, and you're not satisfied with it in that moment when you're seeing it, and then you go back and change that little thing, and the whole butterfly effect, domino effect thing happens. It's like, I don't want to fuck with that.
Yeah, the whole.
I kind of want everything just to happen as it's meant to.
Yeah.
And not interfere with it, because I'm going to get in my head about it. And I think I will drive myself into insanity. So maybe I shouldn't time travel.
Yeah, fact. I was thinking this whole time dilation thing though. Okay, not time traveling. Let's say we're at a point like in like 5 years or whatever. Let's just say we can live on Mars or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say, obviously this isn't, it won't be this drastic, but let's say if you live on Mars, every year that you live on Mars for, like 10 years passes on Earth.
Would I do it?
Would you go there? And if you were to go there, like, would you come back? A, would you just live on Mars at all?
Nah.
And B, you wouldn't. Well, if it was like,
what if it was fully like civilized, like
you're not going there as like a scientific like astronaut to go and like do experiments and shit. You'll just live in your daily life there. You can just live daily life there
like
now on
it's
Mars.
fully civilized as Earth, like on Mars.
Yeah,
to an extent,
or close to at least. Yeah,
I still don't think I would, because like, why would I want to wish the time away? You know?
No, because if you're going to Mars, so with this time dilation stuff,
you just said if I'm there for 1 year, 10 years passes in Earth.
Yeah, but you're not on Earth.
Yeah,
it's like relative.
I would want to come back. And if I came back, then 10 years would pass.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to stay there because I know people that would not go, and I wouldn't want to leave them. I wouldn't want to leave a whole planet.
That's such a scary feeling, though. Like, imagine that. Imagine I go to Mars and I know everyone, like, because the thing with it is, to me, time won't feel any different. It will still feel exactly like if I had a watch on it, would tick exactly the same and all that stuff. But just like time for you would be like, I'll come back and you'll be 10 years older.
And you'll be
You'll be older than me when I come back.
Yeah, which is just weird.
Oh, that's fucking creepy. Yeah, that it's so interesting to me that that's even a thing, because also a theory of like time dilation stuff, although it's like theoretical, like I was saying, like no one can travel at the speed of light for 26 fucking days to travel into the future or whatever, but like the fact that theoretically that is potentially possible is so interesting to me. The fact that time travel isn't just a thing that can like, it's not just something someone made up for like a cartoon show, you know, or whatever. Like the fact that it's somewhat theoretically possible is because I tried to look up as well. I was like, is there any species on Earth that could like you could shoot at the speed of light? Not that we can. Like I think I asked ChatGPT if we had like something that could constantly move at the speed of light, that could carry something. Is there a species on Earth that could do it to like send it into the future? Because that'd be sick.
Oh.
That'd be such a sick experiment, kind of like the dog that we shot into space. But
oh, rest in peace.
What? I don't think it died. Did it die?
There was the first.
Well, it'll be dead now.
The first one that got sent to space. I don't know how you say it. It's like Laika, like Laika. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
I'm thinking of what's the other one called again? With an S, isn't it?
And dog is dead. You know.
Yeah. Well, it will be dead now anyway. Just
dog died. That one.
Yeah.
I just find it so funny that like back in the day when people were predicting what was going to happen in the future, it was like flying cars and something crazy, and instead we're left with like Freakbob and Charlie the Steak. You know?
Freakbob. What?
That's Freakbob.
What actually is Freakbob though? I'm just breaking the set right here.
You're not on that side of TikTok?
Don't think so. Are you? Is it the SpongeBob thing? No, that's Doodlebob. What the fuck is Freakbob?
You're in for a bumpy ride.
I think I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
You know, like the John Pork realm of people.
Yeah.
And like
I know it'll be in this vein of shit, like
and
some
like
shit posting.
Biggie Cheese.
Yeah. Martin Beak and all that, or whatever, Marvin Beak.
Freakbob is, I'd say, a similar caliber. I'm laughing. I'm laughing even just thinking about it.
I saw a TikTok of a girl that posted. She said, "I told my boyfriend to decorate a cake romantically for my birthday or something," and he printed John Pork on it.
Every time I hear that Facebook messenger call, I just think, oh, he's here.
Yeah, that. Send this to me because I'll put it on screen. Oh, it's just audios. I was trying to think of something visually.
Well, no,
I've seen shit like this.
Actually,
I've seen shit like that. Yeah. I thought it was like had an actual picture.
What is this?
Is it just people making sad edits? Fucking hell, that's loud.
Hey man, thanks for answering. People usually
It's
don't
just like
answer.
sad edits of
Well,
SpongeBob
Freakbob
voice
normally is like he's saying some freaky.
saying like freaky shit. Oh my god, please stop.
Who wants to lick my cheek?
That's fucking joke.
So yeah, we went from thoughts of flying cars and like a utopia to Freakbob, John
Yes.
Pork.
To SpongeBob dirty talking on the View page.
Well, hey, I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
But yeah, that whole like, there's so much more. I probably explained it terribly, but like the time dilation stuff and the fact that like I think it's all of the science in Interstellar was basically like they kind of made the film from the science rather than doing it backwards, doing it the other way. So like pretty much all of it is like true or very close to being true and slightly stretched, and whether like the black hole stuff, I think no one's ever going to know and stuff like that. But yeah, super sick stuff. What topic did you have for us? I've got another one to dive into in a bit, but I want to hear what you've got for us.
Let me just check my facts. Let me just check my facts.
Tips for Dora.
This one is just like kind of creepy because
Okay, what is it?
there's massive clouds of water vapor in space, such as the one found around I'm not even going to try and say this, QUASAR.
A quasar.
Quasar. And it contains, this is the creepy bit, 140 trillion times more water than all of Earth's oceans combined.
What?
That's a lot of water.
What? And there's multiple of those things just floating around in space.
Just
But how?
milling about.
If there's no,
Just cutting about.
how can that be a thing if space is like a vacuum?
Yeah,
though?
my brain pictures it as just like, you know, in Mario levels where like you're in like Super Mario Bros. And you jump up into these like bubbles of water and they're floating in the sky and you have to like swim through them.
Oh my god, yeah, that's such a good way to visualize it. But like how? Because it's like
But
a vacuum.
like they're not exactly. So like what?
There's no.
But it says water vapor. So I'm like,
Yeah, but it still requires
that-
like air.
is
So
that,
it still
like-
requires like unless a vacuum has particles. I don't know. This is why I'm not a scientist.
water
but
vapor, is that not just like
It's like steam,
like
basically.
condensation?
Yeah,
steam.
essentially.
But like
steam, yeah.
but it's enough.
It's
for
like
it to-
water in like an air kind of form.
So like if you were going through it, you would kind of feel the like moisture. But it's
Yeah.
just like, where are the particles just like floating about? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How can it be like clouds of it? And stuff?
It's not
or
quite
is
the
it?
Super
Are they
Mario
only
bubble.
around certain things? Because like that said, it was like around a quasar or whatever that
Let's
is.
have a look.
What is a quasar? Maybe that will tell us the answer to what we're trying to figure out.
But even so, I thought,
Yeah, that's
creepy.
weird. Oh my god! Imagine being in a spaceship. You're just flying through space, whether going to the moon or the planet, whatever you're fucking doing. You're on the window and you just see water hit the window. I would shit myself.
I mean, I'd shit myself being in space. Period.
Yeah, true.
Period. A quasar is an extremely luminous active galactic nucleus, whatever that means.
No, it's not. It's a fucking laser tag thing that I used to do when I was a kid.
What, like Laser Quest?
Did you not? Yeah. Did you not have one? Was Quasar not a chain?
What
Or was
the
that just
hell
a
is
local
it?
one
What
that
the
I
hell
had
is
near
it?
me? I had one near me called Quasar.
Let's have a look.
I'm pretty sure it's a chain because they had them in other places.
I think I can see one. There's a quasar in Bromley, one in Harlow.
Yeah, the one in Harlow. That was actually I probably shouldn't say that on the podcast. I'll cut that bit. But yeah, that was the one near me.
Yeah.
fucking laser tag
Enfield.
things.
There's a few.
I bet they can do actual fucking like.
Hemel Hempstead.
They could probably do laser tag where you shoot like actual lasers at this point.
The closest thing we had to a Laser Quest thing like that in the town where I grew up was in a soft play area called Sharky's. Big up. If you know, you know. It was so good at the time. And I remember going there for one of my friend's birthdays. But my problem is just a slight issue, and I still am now. I don't like the dark. So as you can imagine, being shut in a dark room where you know people are chasing you,
trying to
looking
shoot
for you, trying to shoot you. I didn't deal with that very well.
Yeah, I can imagine. I swear we did laser tag though, no?
Yeah, and I defo was still a bit scared. And I remember there was a girl. That was a real tryhard. And to be honest,
Oh my god, yeah, on that fucking bridge thing in the middle.
yeah, and she was mugging everyone off and like being a proper sweat at it. And I thought, fair play. Like at the end of the day, it is a competition, and you are winning. I hold my hands up. But I definitely did tell her to fuck off quite a few times.
I think I did as well.
I was so annoyed.
So we was
so annoying.
This must have been what, 3rd year?
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
No, would it have been 3rd year?
Yeah, I think it was when we had just moved into because the weather was still nice. We sat on the beach after for a bit.
We need to bleep. You stop saying places. We need to bleep so many.
Yeah, just cut all that out. But yeah, I think that was in 2021-ish when we went.
Yeah, we was there, and
I was fuming at that.
The layout of this thing was kind of like, it's a bit of a shittish layout, to be honest. It was like kind of like if you imagine a square, and in the middle there was like kind of like a bridge that was like a T shape. So there was like a big thing going across the middle, and then there was like one little walkway that you could get up or like to go on. This girl, pretty much the whole thing, to be fair, she was sick of it, but it was so annoying because she was on the other team, was just like sat in the middle of this bridge. And if you like had the bridge, like if you were on it and you was in the middle, you could basically see everyone like everywhere unless you were like intentionally hiding from this person. This motherfucker was taking out like literally everyone. You'd step forward to go anywhere and you just get shot by it, and it was so infuriating. Like you said, we ended up telling them to just like fuck off.
My problem was not that she was doing well, because that is the aim of the game. It was that she was mugging us off, and I thought, girl, I've got a real gun. You're gonna get pistol whipped. Like, oh my seriously, God. I've got a loaded gun in my back pocket, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Loaded gun in the back pocket. Yeah, facts.
Seriously, don't start mugging me off in front of my friends.
Yeah, fucking.
If you're watching this, just know I hate you. Anyway, but you are really good at laser tag.
Clouds, space.
A laser tag.
No, like what was originally talking about, like the clouds of water and shit in space. Yeah, imagine. I don't get how that even works.
I don't know, but I don't like it. And I don't like the thought. I know it's not the same consistency, but I don't like the thought of something liquid being 140 trillion times the size of the
yeah, we just glossed over that.
Because I
wait, 140 trillion times
all of Earth's oceans combined.
Fucking, it's space, like the actual scale of space is insane.
I don't get it. Like, where does it end? And it just keeps
expanding. Do you think aliens exist? Or do you think we're literally the only people in the universe?
I think with the actual scale of the universe, some sort of other living thing has got to be out there. Whether it's advanced as us or more advanced, I don't know. But there must be at least some sort of like even microbiological thing out there that's like surviving. So I do think so, but it's definitely not the aliens that we think it is, like the green, you know.
Do you think there's aliens like that? Not necessarily like how they look and all that kind of stuff, but just the fact like aliens
like
that have UFOs and like travel to our planets and can travel through space and stuff like that. Like a more advanced alien thing.
I wouldn't fully rule it out purely just again because of the scale of the universe. Statistically, you'd think we would not be the only planet in our entire universe that is just so perfect to habit, like kind of what's the word? Life at like
what are you trying to say?
Like at the level of what ours is at, but I can't think of the word. Life at like a developed kind of level where we're not just like little things, we're like full people.
Like allowing for like evolution and shit, like
as evolved,
sustained life and stuff.
Yeah. We cannot. It would be. I feel like the idea that we are the only kind of evolved life form in our entire universe, the statistics of us being fully alone in that kind of seems a bit unlikely to me.
Yeah, statistically.
But this other planet that could habit another developed, evolved life form obviously could be like a stupid. Well, it almost definitely, if it exists, will be a stupid distance away. Because if it was close enough for us to see it, then we'd see it. So
I always think about this stuff as well, right? You know how like when we discover other planets, or like we're trying to look for like water on or like different planets to like, because that could mean there's going to be life in there at some point or something like that. They always like, you know how they kind of like know what other planets are made out of?
Yeah.
I'm like, how can you tell me that in the universe there's not other like materials? Like, for example, if you went to, I don't know, let's say Venus or a planet that you could like has a surface like with like rock, like a rocky surface or whatever, that you're telling me that rock is made up of materials that are also on Earth. Like every planet in the solar system is also like, I don't know what the actual like compounds for
like
shit
the
are.
element,
You know what I mean?
like
yeah,
the
like the periodic
elements,
table. How is there not like other things that aren't on the periodic table out there? Like anytime we discover planets, we always seem to like, oh, this one's got like fucking, I don't know, like chlorine around it, whatever the gases are that are around the planet. Like it's got like nitrogen, or this planet's like a gas giant and it's all nitrogen and shit. And it's like, how is there not something where just like, that is a gas, or what the fuck is it?
There must be some like that but are just so far away that we can't detect
But
it,
I'm so
surely.
surprised that that's not like common. Like
True.
how every planet somehow seems to like
they're all kind of interlinked a little bit.
be made up of like the same stuff that Earth is. Like it's not like a complete
I
like
wonder,
purple like, or like stuff that just like, you know what I mean? Like how is there not stuff that just like breaks like our science? Because obviously science is
our
just
kind of like physics knowledge.
yeah,
and
because all of our knowledge and science and stuff isn't like fact. It's basically fact as far as we know. It's like tests that prove themselves up until a certain point. Like there's nothing we found or can see that like breaks that, which is so intriguing to me.
I'm just asking ChatGPT
Mhm.
if there's any known planets with similar compounds to Earth in the universe. Astronomers have identified several exoplanets that may have compounds similar to those on Earth, particularly in terms of atmosphere and potential for water. Planets in the habitable zone of their stars, like Kepler 186f and TRAPPIST 1e, have conditions that could support liquid water and possibly harbour similar chemical compounds.
Whittle you can harvest life.
Whittle you can harvest life. However, detailed studies are ongoing to confirm the exact compositions and atmospheres. But even that shows that like there are things that are similar to our planet out there. And in theory, if that is true, I know we also have other things that impact our ability to sustain life here, like, I don't know, temperatures, climates, whatever. I'm not going to explain this well, but these might not have that, these planets, but it's interesting. I feel like there must be something else out there. It just almost seems so improbable that there is not one single other planet out there that has very similar conditions to ours. It just seems too silly for us to be the only one with the perfect conditions to harvest that.
Yeah, because the who was it? The America like declassified like a bunch of like UFO sightings and stuff, didn't they? Like the footage, and like basically confirmed that those footage is like is real, and also is like no one knows what the sightings were of.
Yeah.
Or even I think Area 51 is such a weird thing to me as well.
Such a weird thing.
Such a weird thing.
Like I feel like a lot of people don't actually really
like deep
at how strange it is.
Yeah.
Like how you like cannot go anywhere near it.
Yeah, literally. I found as well.
So weird.
Chip from the Fellas podcast, he did a video ages ago, like just going there just because he likes this whole like alien and space stuff like we're talking about. So he did a video just visiting it as well as doing a bunch of other stuff. And he went, you can go like right up to like the gate. There's like a famous like gate entrance to Area 51 where like a lot of tourists go up to
and
stand
you then
there and get a photo.
can't, and then you can't.
If you stand, and if you stay there for a while, they'll kick you out or whatever. But cool. And he said apparently he went there again recently because he proposed to his girlfriend in America and they was doing a bit of a road trip. So they visited there again, and they both went up there and it was like taking photos out the front or whatever. I can't remember specifically what sound it was, but they basically like after he was there for a little while and they wanted him to go away or whatever, they just played a really, really loud like noise. I think it was almost like a bit of a siren or a bit of like an alarm kind of sound. Like just blared it out and like nothing happened. He said like nothing happened compared to what happened last time when he was there. But they just blared out. Imagine being like on the edge of Area 51 and you hearing that. I would shit myself.
I'd be so scared. Like the whole,
it should be terrifying.
the whole like kind of vibe and atmosphere around it is so creepy. It almost feels like something from a movie.
Yeah, and there was like wasn't there that guy? He has a name. I've forgotten his name. Someone drop in the comments if you know who I'm talking about. Is the guy that like used to work at Area 51 and had all this information about it. And he's been on like Joe Rogan and a bunch of different podcasts like telling the exact same stories.
Cool.
And I think some of it lined up with some of the stuff they declassified. So like that. And they were saying about how like they have UFOs at Area 51. And he was like describing how like some of them work and stuff. It's like really, really weird, creepy stuff. But I don't know what I think about Area 51 because also like I think anything that like just kind of government based, we're getting into more conspiracy theory now than we are science stuff, but like anything that's kind of like government based and it's like to do with like UFOs or whatever, I think that could also just be like some super top secret like military shit as well. And America loves their fucking military spending as well. So all these like UFOs could just be like fucking weapons that are like way. I always think this as well. Don't you think that like governments and stuff and like special like branches like military and whatever high up in governments and stuff will have tech that's like way beyond anything that we even know to exist like
probably,
now. Like,
yeah.
I think that's scary shit.
And they probably have lots of like space defense things.
Yeah.
And
well, doesn't America actually have a space force? I'm pretty sure, right? One of the branches of America's military, I think, is a space force. Does any Americans listening comment?
Cool job.
Yeah, what would that even like? If you were in the space force, what the fuck do you do?
Just sit about waiting for
a UFO sign. Then what? You go in a spaceship with what? A shotgun? You're not gonna do shit. Like if you're, can we even fight in space? The fuck? Or
if you shot a gun in space, would the bullet ever slow down?
You and the bullet would just forever. Just carry on. Like you'd get sent backwards. And
like if something was holding me in place though, let's say, and then I just shot it, it would just carry on going.
Yeah, the bullet, nothing stops it.
Yeah, and I guess there's no resistance, isn't there?
Nope. That's why I like anything from like past space launches and stuff on the moon's still there. Like everything's just still in space. Like anything that like falls off of a rocket, unless it falls back down to Earth, if it stays in space, it's just there somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably like gone now, but it's
so scary.
Because it's a vacuum as well, nothing will like break it down and like deconstruct it and shit as well. Whereas like on Earth, it will like rust and stuff because of like whatever water and the atmosphere and stuff. It's just in a vacuum, it just literally stays pristine forever.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And like a similar thing where like, this is up there with one of the worst things that I feel like could ever happen to someone. If you were an astronaut in space, and again, like this might happen in Interstellar, I can't remember. Or nearly happen. If you like were going outside the rocket and then like something unattaches you, and you just float away and you cannot get back, you're literally screwed. Yeah, you are in theory floating forever until you die.
I'm taking my helmet off if that happens.
That's
literally, I'm taking my helmet off. I'm taking my if that happens, like if there's no way for you to
that's so
get back,
scary.
Like you get catapulted away, like you're gone.
That is honestly like terrifying.
Space to me is like the most exciting, interesting, but also terrifying place ever. I don't get this shit with the ocean. I know we haven't explored much of the ocean. I actually couldn't give a fuck about the ocean. No, I get terrified of it. I don't find it exciting or interesting at all. Like I know we haven't explored it. Like if people are, we found this new thing really deep underwater. I'm like, cool, fucking keep it there. I don't care.
No.
I literally don't give a shit about the ocean. Space though is so flipping interesting. Like I actually would love to go to another. I feel like every time I think about it, I'm like, would I actually go? Would I want to go? Like if we could go to Mars, like if it was available to me, I think I definitely would. I'm gonna die at some point anyway. Like if I die in space, like at least I've died maybe seeing fucking a whole other planet.
Yeah, I don't think I would, purely just because I'm so scared of stuff like that. I just couldn't. I wouldn't enjoy it. Like I would be so scared the entire time. I literally got scared at Laser Quest. I'm not making it to Mars.
Let's say getting there is completely safe. It's like getting on a flight. It doesn't take long. It's like a long haul flight to get there. Like the experience wise as well. Like all you have to do is you get there. Like it's like a flight getting on any other flight. You get there. You just put a spacesuit on and you walk around the planet and you come back on the thing. Would you do that?
Maybe. I think it's just the thought of like I'm cutting about on Mars. That's so scary.
Oh, like even being on the other
like
planet.
I'm so far away from everything I know and I'm used to. Sorry, I keep pulling the table back and thinking I'm pulling this. I don't know. I still feel like I would feel really on edge.
I think it's just because I love sci-fi shit. Like I just feel like I'm in Star Wars. I feel like I'm a flipping kid again. It'd be so fucking cool. Anyway, we've talked about space for like majority of this episode. What other topics have we got?
Dreams.
Yes, we've got that. We'll get to that. I'll touch on this one quickly just before that. So I think it was the last episode or a previous episode. I touched on the Schrodinger's cat thing and how that's like basically solved. I basically got the details on how that's solved now. So
it's solved.
Not solved. How it,
but like broken down.
The whole Schrodinger's cat thing isn't like it's a thought experiment. So it's not like a physical thing that you can actually do. But there is some science that suggests that the idea that both realities are true at once is somewhat possible.
Okay.
So I asked ChatGPT for the details of this. So I said, solve Schrodinger's cat and explain the summary in simple terms. So it's going to take a bit of, because this is like to do with like quantum mechanics and shit. So in quantum mechanics,
much to think about.
Yes. Until you observe or measure the system, the radioactive atom is in a superposition of decayed and not decayed states. Consequently, the cat is also in a superposition of being both dead and alive. So superposition is like in the example of the Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah, but should you explain what that is?
That's what I'm about to do.
Well, what the fuck was all of that you just said? I literally didn't comprehend.
That's the overview
anything
of it, and then this is breaking that down. These next bullet points break down.
I didn't understand any of those words. What? So can you say that again?
The general. So this is what it says, and I know the general understanding of it. So in quantum mechanics, until you observe or measure the system, so in this case it would be the atom. I don't know why it says radioactive. The atom is in a superposition of decayed and not decayed. Consequently, the cat is also in a superposition of both being dead and alive, because the whole thing about I think it's like a radioactive poison, and when that poison decays or whatever it is.
Surely you should explain. When the atom decays. Surely you should explain the theory before then saying the cat is then dead and alive.
We're talking about Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah, but you've just said the theory of it before you've actually explained what happened.
So yeah, if Schrodinger, for those of you who don't know what Schrodinger's cat is, it's basically a thought experiment where I think it's if there's a room, right, with a cat if there's a room and there's a box of poison in this room that opens when a particle decays, and the box of poison is also in a box with a cat, so it gets let into. Essentially, when the particle decays, it lets out the poison and kills the cat. That's the thought experiment, and it's like, well, how do you like? It's a thought experiment, so people have their theories on it.
So what? You've got a box with a bottle of poison and a cat in it.
And you're measuring a particle, because particles often, like, I think it's to do with radioactive stuff, and when it decays,
are they saying
really overcomplicated what I'm saying, and now I've confused myself. Let me read this. So, Schrodinger's cat is a famous thought experiment in quantum mechanics that illustrates the concept of superposition and the measurement problem. Here's a simplified explanation. So, to set up, imagine a cat inside a sealed box with a radioactive atom, a Geiger counter, which is like how you measure radioactivity, and some poison. If the radioactivity, like measuring thing, counter detects radiation, which happens with a 50% chance, the vial breaks and the cat dies. If no radiation is detected, the cat remains alive.
Right.
So basically, so
if there's radiation, then
cat's
it's
dead. If no radiation, the cat's alive.
Okay.
And the kind of answer to it is that the answer is kind of both at the same time, which is what this explains. Surely
you'd know if it's dead or alive versus what the radiation thing says.
No, so the thought experiment is like you're not. This is in a almost in like a locked room, so you're not staring at the cat while it happens.
But you're looking at the radiation.
All you're looking at is if the.
But I'll know if the cat's alive or dead or not, because if the radiation thing exists, then the poisons come out, right?
Yes, but you'd only be able to confirm that by looking at the cat. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's on the presumption of if there's radiation, then the cat is dead. You're just presuming it's dead.
Yeah, just Stay with me.
I have this someone tried
You're
to
asking questions before I've fully
someone
explained it.
tried
and it's
to
confusing
explain
me.
this to me in sixth form, and I never understood it, and I still really don't to this day. I ended up just being like, okay, whatever that means.
Yeah. So right.
Can you ask him to summarize it in dummy terms?
I have.
That's not dummy terms.
Because you're asking questions before I've got there.
I think we need to start this section again.
Yes, we do.
Because I don't get it.
Okay. Just bear with me because it does explain it all. It is a complicated thing, like how it actually solves it. Right. So I'll cut it after I was saying about last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So Schrodinger's cat is a famous thought experiment in quantum mechanics that illustrates the concept of a superposition and the measurement problem. Here's a simplified explanation. So imagine a cat inside a sealed box with a radioactive atom and a Geiger counter, which is basically how you like a measuring instrument for radioactivity, and some poison. If the Geiger counter detects radiation, the vial breaks and the cat dies.
Okay.
If no radiation is detected, the cat remains alive.
Okay.
So, in quantum mechanics, until you observe the thing, the atom is basically in this thing called a superposition of being like, where it basically means it's both decayed and not decayed at the same time.
In this case, would it be the cat?
Yes, because the particle is in both states, so the cat's technically in both states as well.
So even if my detector says there's radiation or there's not, because I can't physically see the cat alive or dead, then both the cat is alive and dead.
Yes. So the concept
of
it, of like the role of observation is there's basically this famous experiment where it's called the two-slit experiment, where if you imagine like almost like a sheet of paper or like a sheet of a material with two like slits in it, and you fired an atom at it, right? When you're observing it and you're looking at the atom, it would kind of do it would act as you would expect and kind of like split in between the two atoms or just like hit it or whatever. However, when you're not observing it, they found that it kind of acts like waves. Almost if you shot like radio waves through it, like and how like wave patterns work and stuff.
Versus when you look at it versus when you don't look at it.
Yeah, this is like a quantum thing.
Why
It's
is
like
it shy?
It's like a deeply scientific thing.
But surely again with this cat thing, you'll know if it's alive or dead versus based on what this radiation thing says, or is it just saying? Or is it just in terms of quantum physics theory?
Yes, it's partly
so
that.
So it's not a literal thing.
No, it's not a literal thing.
Because like in the real life scenario, you'd know, well, there's radiation, which means the cat is dead.
Yeah, it's not a literal thing as well, because in this thought experiment, it's only you're not observing the cat. So and the point of it is basically because it's in a state of both dead and alive at the same time, it only becomes one of those when you observe it. So if you were to open this box with the cat or the room with the cat, you would see that it's either dead or alive.
So
but until that point, it's technically in both.
So similar vibes, that thing of like, if a tree falls down in a forest and you don't hear it or whatever, then it's whatever it is.
And in the quantum kind of world and stuff, I'm sure there's going to be some people that actually know more about it than what I'm saying in the thing. But the idea that exists, like the fact that it can be in both of those states at the same time, to me is like that tied into, at least in my brain and how I understood it, with like parallel universes and stuff, because how it's like two things, it's like one thing but it's in two states at like the same time and stuff. And then the whole like butterfly effect off of that, if you applied that to kind of like everything and stuff.
It kind of reminds me of the concept where I struggle to wrap my head around it. The fact that outside of what I can see right now and what I can comprehend, there's loads of other things going on that I can't see. That sounds really stupid.
Like
but
Truman Show.
Yeah.
Like the simulation type thing where it's like for example, once you step out of my flat and after we stop recording, it's like I could just evaporate for all you fucking know until you see me again.
Yeah, exactly. Like I find that like the whole like object permanence thing.
Yeah.
Of like there are going to be people at the station down the road on the train and like, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just fucking hell, how do I say this? everything that exists right now is not just what I can see and experience right now. There's like a whole world of things happening that I am not comprehending right now. Oh, it's so weird. It's so weird.
Object permanence is such a real thing as well, because the other day when I was like, I just lose shit all the time. Like you literally seen me do it so many times. Like I'll put something down, do one tiny other thing for like a millisecond and turn back and it's like gone. The other day I was like, you wasn't here, but the other day I was getting ready to go out and I had a hoodie and a hat on and I wanted to change my t-shirt under my hoodie. So I took my hoodie off with my hat, like I took my hat and my hoodie off, put them both on the bed, right? Changed my t-shirt, put my hoodie back on. This hat was just gone. I don't know where it was. I literally turned my entire flat upside down.
You still not found it?
I think I have now, maybe. I'm not even sure, but like for like a day, at least a good day, this thing was just fucking gone. And I was like, it's literally like I've thrown it into a void. I don't know what has happened to it. And I do it with everything. I put shit down and like, I'll need to come and get one thing from the kitchen. I'll come in, put something down while I'm doing it, forget to pick it back up, go in my room, and I'll be like, oh shit, it'll be where I left it. Walk back in and it's not there. I'm like, literally how? And it happens so often, it pisses me off. It feels like wormholes exist.
I've said this before, but my thing is socks. They disappear.
Yeah,
and they're not in the washing machine. Thank you very much.
I don't do enough laundry for me to lose my socks. No, I'm joking. I do. I just need
Stinky bitch.
It always piles up, and laundry is the one thing that I'm far behind. I can be on top of everything else on laundry. I'll still be behind on for however fucking long. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to next thing. Weird dreams, and I think you've got more. I've got some things about this, but you found it more. So when I say we're on dreams, so we spoke about it a little bit last episode. At least what I looked into, as if like it was basically just like how dreams work, like what they are, if they have any kind of meaning, kind of thing. And I also tried to figure out if I can't remember what ChatGPT said, but I tried to ask it if like you could manufacture a dream. And what I mean by that is like, let's say if I wanted to try and manufacture a dream for you to have, like if I could almost send you on an experience throughout the day of doing certain things to
like
make sure
that
it makes your way into your, not quite mind control in terms of I'm trying to implant a dream, I guess is the way, rather than manufacture. Like I could send you on doing certain things or watching certain things or whatever dictates it throughout a day to see if that like embeds it, like it makes its way into your dream. Like I think that shit is interesting. I'm gonna get ChatGPT up now to see if see what answer it gave me, but I don't think it gave me anything conclusive, annoyingly, because we know so little about them. But
there's two things that I thought were really interesting with dreams. One I kind of knew a bit about already. The second one I actually had no idea this was a thing.
Yeah.
So I'll say the one that I knew a bit about before was obviously dreams feel long in the sense of, for me, like I can have such a long-winded. I can honestly dream about a whole 5-part series in my head, but dreams only last about a few minutes.
Really?
Yeah, but in your head they feel like they're gone forever, but they're only the average dream is I think about 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's so weird.
But you can have longer, more complex dreams which occur in the later stages of the sleep cycle, but generally they only last a few minutes. Whereas I feel like every dream I have is so long-winded. Like I can have I live a whole lifetime in some of my dreams, which is nuts.
You know, when you dream, like specifically you, when you dream, do you like, I suppose it's gonna be really hard because normally you can't really fucking tell. Like, do you normally have your dream and then like right as your dream ends or like near the end of your dream you wake up? So is it always like right before you wake up that you're kind of dreaming? Or is it sometimes like you can go to sleep, be out for like an hour or so, you have your dream and you're just conked out for the rest of it?
I feel like a lot of the time my dreams that I remember happen not long before I end up waking up.
Yeah.
Where like maybe kind of like, I don't know, if I'm waking up for work at like 7:30, I reckon a lot of my dreams happen around like, well, if they're only a few minutes long, they probably happen around like 6:30, 7 or something.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's not long before because I normally wake up and I vividly remember my dream.
Yeah, I either just don't dream a lot or I just literally, not even like I remember I had a dream, but I can't remember what it was. I just wake up and I'm like, I've just blacked out and I woke up like type shit.
I remember literally like every dream I have.
Do you remember the one you had last night?
I didn't have one last night, but I remember the one that I had the night before. and it was quite scary, and I woke up actually quite scared.
What was it?
It was I was in the main bit. There was loads of random little like side narratives that happened, but the main thing was I was in like a, you know, like the Tower of Terror type thing. Like you're in an escalator and it's like going up and it's like a scary kind of vibe. Imagine that, but rather than you sitting in it and going up and kind of falling down, like you're just in this lift, and it's slowly going up this really tall building, but there's like doorways on each of the levels, and like people trying to get in and can like come in and attack you. And like, it was really creepy. And like I could see above me like who was waiting for me at each level. It was really creepy. And then one of the doors was, and this is creepy.
Yeah.
One of the doors was my bedroom door, and I managed to open it and go in my bedroom, and then I shut the door, and then I locked it, and I pushed my chest of drawers against the door to try and hope that like no one can get in. And then as the people on the lower levels could see that I'd hidden, they were getting in the lift and trying to come up to get into my bedroom.
What the fuck?
And my dream ended with them like fully like
busting down the door.
Well, trying to, and I got so stressed that I woke up. But it was them trying to break my door down while I was stood behind it, like pushing my chest of drawers, like holding my weight. Yeah. And I got so scared I woke up.
Fuck.
It was so scary.
That's terrifying.
It was so scary.
What's like? Yeah. That's
So it was like I was going up in a lift, and then I got into my bedroom because it was one of the doors at a level from the lift, and then people were trying to get into my room the lift.
I don't even remember the last dream that I had.
So scary.
Kind of glad that I don't remember, because I think we talked about it on a previous episode, so I won't go into it. But you did that project at university where we had to track something every day, and Lexie did her dreams, and literally, I mean, it was kind of like a thing that like perpetuated itself, because you did that because you remember a lot of your dreams, but then because of you doing that, you now remember them like so fucking vividly.
Yeah, I remember nearly all of them. There's not many that I don't remember, and if I don't remember them, normally it's like, you know, when you remember them for a little bit and then they just disappear.
Yeah,
it's rare that I don't recall anything.
Yeah,
I normally remember all of them. I don't know why.
Yeah, and it was so interesting while you were doing that thing as well, because because it is a lot of your dreams ended up being quite stress related, because it was like we was in lockdown and stuff, and it was at uni, there's pressure, all this stuff going on, and it was like, because we weren't physically doing a lot, it was always just related to what you were thinking about and stuff. It was like you could figure out basically what you were thinking about, which is why I had the idea of like, can you implant a dream? So I'm going to try and find that ChatGPT thing to see if you can.
It was interesting doing that, because just for a bit more context, I in this like visual diary that we had to make, like Ben said, mine was about my dreams, but I had to kind of, visually communicate them. So I would use different art medias to illustrate them, basically, whether that was like digital or I drew some, painted some, like use like watercolors, whatever. But it was really interesting actually to go back. I did it for about ages, a few months.
Yeah, it was like maybe just over 2 months.
Yeah,
it was like 70 odd things that we had to do.
Yeah, so I did a good few, and it was interesting actually flicking through all the pages and like noticing the patterns of my dreams, and like the way I drew them or painted them, whatever, like I was doing it as how I pictured my dream. So it wasn't as such like a kind of metaphorical communication of it. Like I actually, because I can visualize them so clearly, I just put it on paper basically. And it's so weird seeing the visual patterns of like what I was kind of seeing in my dreams. Oh, it was so weird. And all those random side characters that come into them, and so strange.
When you dream, do you lucid dream, or can you lucid dream? Where you're not just kind of like experiencing it. You're you, like you're in control. So for example, in that one where you're going up the tower and you're trying to block people in, like you kind of know you're doing that. You're scared in the dream because of what's happening, but you're actively being like, right, I'm pushing this in front of the door and stuff. Where you're basically in control of the dream.
Not really. The closest thing I can get back to that is like occasionally I can have a dream, wake up, fall back asleep, and go back into the same dream.
Oh, I've had so many dreams where I've like, it's been such a good dream, and I wake up and I'm like, fuck, like I finally had a dream, and it's been sick, and I just want to go back to sleep and get into it.
I've had
Never happened.
a couple of them, not many.
I've had it happen with ones that like I didn't even want to go back into. Like I've just woke up and I've been like, fuck, I'm gonna lay in bed for a bit, and I've fallen back asleep. Realized that I was dreaming because I'd fell back into the dream and been like, fuck, and then got up. Never had it with one that I've wanted though.
No, I've had a couple good ones that I've gone back into, like random ones.
Do you remember them? Remember what any of them were?
No, but I don't remember them, but I know I've had it happen, and I know they've not been bad ones. I've never gone back into a bad dream.
Why
but
would
I think,
you?
well, like subconsciously maybe, like if I'm
like
just still thinking about
like how
it.
I said.
Yeah.
Got you.
I feel like when I was a kid, I had a lot of reoccurring nightmares, but I can't really remember what they were. I feel like a lot of my nightmares like kind of link around being chased or followed, like vulnerability. Like it's not something bad happening. It's something like, I say not something bad, but it's something like dangerous happening where like I feel under attack. Yeah, and I'm like vulnerable and I like don't know what's going on. And
when you was doing that visual diary thing at uni, you kept having the one where, because you had it multiple times with different people when you were stressed out about stuff.
What was it?
Where you said you were on a cruise ship, and whoever it is that's like stressing you out, or whatever the thing was that was stressing you out, was like chasing you around the ship trying to kill you.
Oh, and you know what? I can still picture that. I know exactly which one you're on about, and this is how well I remember my dreams. I can picture even 2 years on, whatever.
Yeah.
I can picture exactly what that boat looked like, and people were like jumping off the edge of it and stuff, and it was so.
Yeah, the fact you remember this in such detail is like scary.
And it was so creepy, like, and they were like telling me to just jump off with them, knowing that we'd all die. It was horrible. Horrible.
Dreams are like,
but
if I could lucid dream, that'd be so fucking lit.
But aside from all that scary darkness, this is something that I did not know that I thought was so interesting.
Go on.
About 12% of people dream exclusively in black and white. And those who grew up watching black and white television are more likely to report black and white dreams.
Oh, interesting.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know that could be a thing.
Black and white TV. Yeah, because I just found
like,
the thing.
Imagine you only dream in black and white.
I found the answer to the can you implant the dreams kind of thing, and it was like a bit of a loose answer, and it was like kind of like what we already said, like yes, but kind of no, because it was like just everything that influences dream basically. Some people do like pre-sleep visualization, so they'll like watch something and then go to sleep to try and like.
Don't people say if you eat cheese before you go to sleep, you can have weird dreams?
Yeah, you can have like crazy dreams.
Is that
Let me find out. If you
chat GPT it.
So yeah, it's a common belief, but there isn't much solid scientific evidence to support it. However, some people do report having vivid or strange dreams after eating certain foods, including cheese. One reason for this might be that cheese, especially aged cheese, contains an amino acid called, sorry if I butchered this, but tyramine, which can affect brain activity. Some also think heavy or rich foods like cheese might lead to more active dreaming because they can disrupt sleep, causing more awakenings during REM, the stage of sleep when we dream. Oh, that'll be why people tend to have we tend to have them and then wake up. It's probably as we're waking up. The British Cheese Board did a small study and found that the different types of cheese seem to produce different kind of dreams, but the study wasn't very scientific or large scale. So while cheese might affect your dreams for some people, it's not guaranteed. It could depend on more individual factors like your body and how easily your sleep is disturbed. Interesting. But so no, to answer your question, cheese does not send you into a wild fucking dream.
That is, I thought that'd be the case, to be fair.
I remember one time in primary school, and the weirdest thing is, like, I remember what this dream was about because, I'll tell you a story. I remember once in primary school, I had a dream one day. I can't remember. I think it was like, I think I had a dream. you know the movie Cars? That I was Lightning McQueen from Cars.
Nice.
But all of my friends were also in my dream, and they were the other characters in Cars, and we were like doing one of the like NASCAR races in like Cars and stuff like that.
As a kid, that must be such a good dream.
And it was lit, right? And I remember going to school and telling my friends about it, and they were like, "Oh my god, like I had the same dream as well." Like we like saying, obviously bullshit. It was in like year 2. Like we're definitely just like making it up. But I wasn't making it up, but they obviously were saying that we all had the same dream and they were like all there, and like everything we was describing that happened in the dream, everyone else knew because like they were also there, almost like a multiplayer game. Like we was all playing a game together, but in dreams.
People love to chat shit in primary school though. Like I remember when I was.
What?
I definitely chatted so much shit, stuff like this. You know how like you were saying your friends were like, oh yeah, me too. And they probably were like,
yeah, kids just lie for the sake of lying.
Kids do lie for the sake of it. Like I remember, I think I was in like year 2 or year 3 or something, and my dad went on holiday and got stung by a jellyfish. And I came back into school and told him that he not only got stung by a jellyfish, but that a shark bit his hand off. Like, why did I say that?
What? Yeah. Also,
and I told multiple different people, and then I felt so guilty afterwards that I cried, obviously, and then I told them that I was lying. Why did I do that?
You didn't even,
why did I do that?
If I was going to lie to someone, I had to stand on business, even if they basically caught me out when I was a kid, especially. Like,
why?
My parents could literally catch me out lying. They'd be like, no, I'd be like, no.
Did I really think me going, yeah, my dad's hand got bit off by a shark? They'd be like, no way.
This is what I was going to say. When like loads of kids do
why
it though. Loads
did
of
I say
kids
that?
think that like really like bad things happening is like cool.
Like that's
cool
not like
stuff,
that's
like,
really tragic.
Yeah, like
if my dad's hand got bit off by a shark, that's really sad.
I'm trying to think because there's definitely
that's not like that's mad, that's mental. Like
there must have been ones that I've like said or like heard other kids when I was at school say just along those lines, or like kids just make up the like bad things or like having something wrong with them, or like
I lied about
stuff.
having bad eyesight, but that was because I wanted glasses.
Oh,
like
yeah, that's different though.
Yeah, like I remember.
Or like lying to your parents.
I lied to my teacher as well, and I like pretended I couldn't read the board. And then I lied to my dad and said that I couldn't read registration plates, and I could. I literally have like 20/20 vision.
Yeah,
it's my hearing that's bad.
Yeah, literally saying my eyesight's good, thank God. My brother's got the bad eyes. I've got the bad ears. I'm trying to think if there was like, I just know when I was a kid, I just used to lie all the time, like just shit like that though, where it's just like not the glasses ones, so like my parents and stuff, but just like dumb shit and like random little things, like going to my friends at school and be like, yeah, we were the same, we had a fucking like multiplayer dream, like it's just obviously didn't happen.
I definitely must have lied about more random stuff.
I'm pretty sure in that dream story as well that I was telling, I'm pretty sure at the end of it we all ended up being like, yeah, let's go home tonight and like have that
like,
dream
do
again.
It again.
It's just like hopping on Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna fucking hop on the Cars video game. Just reload the same dream, run it back. Oh, that was it. Yeah, the dream was that what I said, and then I was Lightning McQueen, and I won the Piston Cup doing the NASCAR races that they do, and all my friends were there, like the other cars.
And they're like, yeah, sick. Yeah, we saw it. We
yeah.
know.
No, yeah, that's how the conversation went. I was like, yeah, this happened. I was like, oh, really? Or whatever. And I was like, yeah, and all you guys are. The second I said that you guys
they
were
there,
like,
oh, yeah.
in the dreams, like, they were like, yeah, I remember it. Fucking didn't. Bunch of liars.
Best time ever.
Yeah, I can't remember. I wish I could remember specifically who. My memory. One thing that I wish was actually better talking about, like eyesight and hearing. Like my memory is genuinely awful, and it actually sucks. Because especially having a podcast, like trying to tell stories and stuff from like when I'm younger and stuff, I just don't remember anything.
My long-term memory's okay. I feel like my short-term memory is not.
Both of mine are chalked. Both of mine are literally finished. Like the amount of times, like even if like, to be fair though, partly why I think I have ADHD. When it's minor stuff that like isn't like very time pressing, or like if I forget to do it, it's not going to be the end of the world type shit. That stuff will just slip out of my brain to the point where like, if you ask me to do something and I don't have to do it there and then, I'll be like, just remind me when it needs to be done, because I'm going to fucking forget. So like I've actually gotten used to the fact of how much stuff I forget and what things I tend to forget, and just like account for it now. And it seems to help.
Mate, reminders on my phone are my best friend. By the way, I speaking of like memories, just while we're at it quickly, one last thing that I remember I lied about as a kid was that I, for quite a while as a young child, was adamant to my mum that I could remember being in her stomach. Well, first of all, it's not really her stomach, is it? But you know what I mean. Yeah. In her womb. Yeah. That's the correct term. In her stomach. Or,
No, I'm not going
Pause.
to say that. I was going to say something worse,
Wait,
but I'm not going to say it.
Oh no, the fact that I said stomach is weird.
No, it.
I feel uncomfortable now.
No. Oh, no, I was going to... No, I can't even say it. I'm going to say it, but I'm going to cut it. I want it to be in the episode, but I'm going to cut it.
Well, that's kind of what I thought when I said stomach. I'm like, but I guess they say, I got baby in the belly.
Oh.
So I guess it's kind of fine.
Oh, the actual, like, I went to say it, I had, like, a physical, like...
Yeah, that's
like,
disgusting.
Like, oh, I can't even bring myself to say it.
Yeah, I used to always tell my mum that I could remember her being pregnant with me.
That's
and I'm
like
like,
a
I was
harmless lie,
losing.
though.
Yeah, I know, but just like, that's not fucking true.
Yeah.
Like, why am I saying
yeah,
that?
but if anything, they're just kind of like... At least it's like a somewhat nice
I used
lie.
to describe it as well and be like, yeah, I can remember, like I can remember, like you
Your
like
mum
listening
obviously didn't
things.
like believe you. She was obviously just like, yeah, whatever, mate. It just
Yeah,
went along
but
with it
the
and let you
point
say
is
it.
like, why am I chatting shit?
Every kid does.
Why lying for?
Yeah, I don't actually understand where that stuff like comes from as well. And do you know what I find really fascinating as well is like the whole thing of like, you know, when you'll see like a really weird and random niche like TikTok or video or like tweet or something about something they used to do as a kid. And it's like how everyone has like the same childhood but doesn't. Like I saw a thing of like being in when you're in the car and you're in the window seat. And when you're driving along stuff on the pavement, in my head, I used to do this all the time. The person running along and like jumping over the things as the car passed.
I used to actually.
I did both.
Yeah.
Like, as if you're so, for example, if you're looking out the window and you're driving across like a field and suddenly there's a house, you have to picture like, or like with your fingers,
you're jumping
like,
over it.
Like jumping over.
You're jumping over
it because of the stuff like moving backwards. So it looks like you're moving forwards.
One thing that I did as a kid that I still kind of have a bit of a liking to now, more so, well, not really the same as when I was a kid, but. And I thought it was just me until let me describe it first.
Yeah.
You'll know this. I like silk tags on things, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
And I never knew that was not like, I always thought that was just a bit of a weird thing that I did, only me. Until Jamie Lang, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Made in Chelsea guy. Well, was Made in Chelsea guy.
Love his podcast, by the way.
Yeah, sick podcast. He made a TikTok talking about it.
Well, like the exact same thing, like the silk tag.
The exact same thing. Oh my God. And people in the comments were all like, oh my God, I had a blanket with the silk on it that I did this thing to.
Yeah, the thing, because I used to have, you know what I used to, mine's probably weirder actually, but like I grew out of mine. Mine was, that sounded like someone did like a shot, but it's not. I used to have like a specific blanket that like, you know when you get like a blanket, like a kid's blanket, and you go through like, it's really old and it kind of becomes like kind of like tatty, but it's still like kind of like soft, but it's like that weird kind of like cloth material. I used to have that I just used to like the feel of and stuff, but I also really used to like I used to really like it like gently like brushing my ears and stuff like I had a weird thing that just like stuff really like gently like brushing my ears felt really nice and stuff. And I used to have that with like a specific kind of like soft blanket. So I sort of get it.
I think
it was only when
it's
I was
like
a kid for me.
It's like a sensory thing, isn't it? Like
it's a bit of a tism thing.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna be able to find this TikTok.
Yeah, so for context, what we're talking about, right? So even she's done it all her life, but when I met Lexie, she had this specific rainbow like guest t-shirt that had this silk tag on it, and she would like, if she was just sitting at home or whatever, just sitting there, but literally doing whatever, she would have this t-shirt and just be like literally just like rolling it between her finger and thumb.
That t-shirt was just because the thing is, right,
the tag.
I think it started off as I had a blanket, a yellow knitted blanket when I was a baby, and I had it for years, and this is another thing, right? It had two different sides to it, like a thicker knitted side and like a thinner knitted side.
Yeah.
And I remember I named the different sides Pips and Pops. There's definitely a bit, there's something not quite right.
No,
anyway.
Kids do that shit.
And then it had a silk tag, and I used to like fiddle with the silk tag, like kind of rub the silk in between my fingers and stuff. And I've always really liked it. And I think it's a weird comfort thing. It's almost like, I know people that still suck their thumb, by the way, like that kind of vibe, but I feel like it's not as strange as that, no offense. That guest t-shirt thing that you were saying is because as you're like fiddling with it, it wears it down, and then And then when that goes, I gotta find something else with it.
Yeah, so she literally wore the label
through,
down entirely. She had to find a new t-shirt.
I go through select items that eventually make the cut. And if I have nothing that makes the cut at that moment, then I have nothing. But once I find something that makes the cut, I'm trying to...
It's like a stimming thing.
Yeah, I know that... I don't know what this TikTok is where Jamie talks about it, but
if we find it, we'll put it in the episode. So if you find it, you'll hear the audio for it now, and we'll put it on the YouTube video if you want to watch it.
I used to have something called a silky. And I used to do something which I used to call lipping. I did that. I used to do that. Lipping, yeah. That's what I used to do.
With silk?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I used to lip it.
Yeah.
I swear my life.
I don't know what about lip it. Similar. My mom, like, I was fucking up all her blankets with like this, I don't know if they're old, but like this silk edging on a blanket.
Exactly the same as me.
But yeah, it's kind of like a stimming thing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to find it. But...
We'll, if we do find it, we'll put it in the episode. But yeah, the fact that Jamie Lang has, like the exact same thing, like a silk tag, kind of like, just rubs it kind of thing. I think, I'm not sure if he is or not, but he also gets the suspicion of being a little bit, of potentially being autistic. But I get like the whole kind of sensory stimming shit, because like for me, it's just fidgeting with random stuff. You can probably see it if you actually pay attention in the episodes. Like I'm always, even if it's not on like, because it's the thing when people think with like ADHD as well, when it comes to like being fidgety, they think like, oh, literally can't sit still, like constantly shifting around, which I also do a little bit, but not like constant. It's not like, it's the difference between fidgeting and restlessness, because I like, even if I'm just standing still or whatever, I can be like wiggling my toes in my shoes and stuff like that. You don't have to see it, like, or just literally like playing with a ring on my finger or whatever it might be, even if it's just like touching like the pockets of my trousers or whatever it is. I'm constantly doing stuff like that, or just like moving part of my body. Like it's shit like that. And it, for me, the thing is like, if I actually sit dead still, it almost feels uncomfortable to me. Like my body has this weird thing where it's like, move. Yeah, like it feels, I don't know how to describe it. Because it's almost like it's the way, this isn't what it is, but the way it feels to me in the best way I can describe it is almost like, you know how when you do move, you can obviously, the blood goes to that part of your thing so it can move. To me, it feels like the blood's almost going there anyway, so it needs to move to kind of use it. But that's not quite how it is. That's not quite how it is, but that's the best sort of feeling, best example of a feeling that I can kind of describe. It's a bit of like I can kind of like almost feel like a little shoot and like a bit of energy that I just need to like fidget and get out. It's weird. Really, really weird.
I'm going through Reddit things, still looking at this like silk label rubbing. Yeah, and he had a name for it, and I cannot find it for the life of me.
What for? Like
this
for calling like the thing that he does, or the thing that he rubbed?
No, like the act of
doing it.
Of doing it.
Stimming, bro.
Yeah, but it's not that. There's like a specific name, and these people on Reddit like are crazy like me, man. It's great. r/does anybody else? They're looking for people like me. Does anyone else have a fascination with rubbing fabric labels? I sound like an absolute weirdo.
What did the replies say? Did you read the replies to it?
Yeah. Rubbing labels with silky textures. r/autism.
That is
no. Well, no, it's more so just like
like a sudden realization.
It's more so like a revelation. I'm like, what?
Yeah, this was me discovering a load of shit about me and how I almost fucking literally fit the bill and extra for ADHD. Sensory seeking tendencies.
Oh, this says lipping is a term used to describe the behavior of rubbing silk tags or labels. It's a form of sensory seeking that some children find comforting. Bitch, I'm 23.
Yeah, see, so my thing was a similar thing with it.
It is lipping. That is it. And yeah. Jamie Lang spoke about lipping. There you go. I can't find the TikTok, but just know Jamie Lang did speak about lipping. I'm sure it was Jamie Lang. I'm bloody sure it was. If it's not Jamie Lang, then sorry, I lied about you, but I'm sure you'd love a good silk tag. The original Pips and Pops blanket for me, I remember I was in a buggy and I fully can remember this. I remember even where we were. Like, that's how traumatizing it was to me.
Traumatizing?
It went underneath the buggy and then it got caught in all the wheels and it all ripped.
Oh no.
Literally the whole thing was completely fucked. I remember a big hole ripped in it. And I think my nan may have made me another one, but I know it never would have been the same. I don't know where it is now. I think I lost. I didn't care about it anymore.
Aww.
Instead, I've gone through different t-shirts with nice silk tags, but I haven't done it in ages, actually.
Yeah.
At the moment.
That guest t-shirt that you had was so funny because I've literally seen the progression of you wearing it down from how much you do it. Because when I met you, like it was almost a full tag, and then you literally like the tag is non-existent. It's not just like it's not thinned out the tag. The tag is gone. Like the tag doesn't exist anymore.
They disintegrate.
Yeah.
At the moment, I end up fidgeting with my rings, as you can tell. With jeans, I fiddle loads with my jeans. Like I constantly flip edges of them and like roll them up and down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Defo, a bit of a weird one from me. How did we end up getting on from this? Oh, memories and talking about weird things.
Talking about memories and talking about kids. And
well,
yeah. You definitely do have a few tendencies that would align with things on the autism spectrum, though.
Yeah, my dad definitely said that he thinks I'm.
So I think some social things with you as well, but they're also, for me, the social side of things where the line's very grey with you. But there are some like you get quite like burnt out sometimes.
I get
really
like
social. Like you obviously people have social batteries, but sometimes you're just like, oh, I saw a thing the other day that made me think of it, and it worded it really well.
I get really easily overwhelmed.
Yeah.
In like every aspect.
You get easily overwhelmed, but you also like, you'll have times where, for example, like you tend to do it only really with like, and this is what I was saying about like, you almost have I don't know how to word this. Like you have your friends and you have your very close friends. And sometimes like, for example, like me or like Fern, you could be with maybe a few other people as well. But like, if you're with other people, you'd probably try and be a bit more social and stuff. But even if you were feeling quite like burnt out or overwhelmed and stuff. Whereas if you were with us, you could quite easily just sit there and just not say anything.
Yeah, but I guess that's like
a comfortable silence type thing.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people are like that though.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying the line for me is grade when it comes to social stuff. Because obviously I'm not a flipping expert about the topic, but I know that it can be a thing. But this is also like...
And girls mask it quite well.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and there was one other thing, and I can't remember quite what it was. It was that kind of like social battery thing. Then also, what was it?
My special interest of lyrics.
Yes. Yeah, your special interest of just like music and lyrics.
That definitely
and then,
would
like,
be
the
my
stimming
thing.
with the tags and like how it's like a comfort thing for you.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. And I keep saying this to my friends as well. Whenever people make jokes, I think like, oh, that was a bit on the spectrum. Like that was like I actually, or like this thinking like, oh, I actually think I have this or whatever. And it's it's just like a bit, not like fact, but it is just kind of true at the same time. Like people on the spectrum just tend to naturally just sort of clump together, like group together, like their friends will also be on the spectrum type shit. And if like
I don't know who else of my friends would be on it though.
Well, doesn't mean every single one of your friends would have to be on it, but like you make quite good friends with people who are also on it. And if I have it's not even a suspicion at this point anymore that I've got ADHD and you're suspicious that you it makes sense why we're great friends.
Yeah, but I feel like I get along with a lot of people to be fair.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's not just down to that. And also I wouldn't say I necessarily have autism. I think I might just slightly be on the spectrum.
No, because you can...
Would that still mean I have it?
Yes, because this is
even if it's like very minor.
Yeah, because it's a common misconception of the spectrum and how it works is like people tend to think like, oh, how far are you on the spectrum? It's like, no, it's either you're on it or you're not. But if you are on it, you can have varying degrees of like severity of it. So so if you did have it, for example, you would just have like a not very severe like case.
Yeah, I feel like I have aspects of neurodivergent kind of behaviors and like ways that I go about things, but
yeah,
I wouldn't say it's anything that kind of like
I'm trying to think of
affects
this one
me.
thing. So I'm sure
really.
there's one thing that I saw on TikTok, and I thought that is literally you, and it was literally like an autism awareness thing. I can't remember what it was.
You probably sent it to me.
No, I don't think I did.
Really?
Because Loki, I didn't want to send it to you, and you get annoyed or like just take it the wrong way. Like,
Nah,
I'm
the
not trying to
worst
do
one
that.
was when my dad was like, "Nah, you defo are," and I was just like, "You kidding me?" My dad doesn't even say things for a laugh. He's not that kind of guy. Like my dad's very black and white.
Yeah.
He in his mind he just spits facts. So when he's saying that, he's not trying to wind me up or like
Yeah.
he means it.
Yeah,
he genuinely means it, and I'm like, well, I'm 50% you, bitch.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror.
I do mean it as well, but like it's also a case.
This is a
where-
man that can't. He's black and white.
I mean,
So the lack of emotion probably means that he's on it as well. So Dad, if you're watching, birds of a feather. No, actually, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Well, I'm trying to spout different phrases
of a
into
feather, what is-
birds of a feather flock together. But I was thinking,
what is
Nah,
that?
I mean-
I've never heard anyone say that. I've heard the term "birds of a feather," but I've never heard the full thing.
well, now you have. No, I mean the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. I think the apple's rotten right to the core. That one.
Oh, just
Whatever. Who's the guy that did the apple falling from the tree?
apple falling.
Charlie
from the tree.
XCX.
What?
The guy that did the Newton.
So that's what I thought you were talking about. Then you said Charlie XCX. and
Yeah,
it threw
I'm
me
taking
off.
the piss, mate.
I just said threw me off, like OTH instead of OFF.
That really
It threw me off.
threw me off. I'm taking the piss, love.
But yeah, I kind of mean it as well, but it's just a thing where like if you did have it, it wouldn't be like a major case of it. Like it not that it could change anything anyway, but it doesn't hinder you in any way. It's just like the way you are type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bruv.
It's just interesting. I like looking into the shit as well. But also what scares me as well is sometimes like with ADHD specifically is there's so many things and they're very like grey lines, like very blood. I've just really done this whole fucking episode about the blood clot dishwasher on.
Yeah, it's fine. They'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, probably won't pick it up. Hoping it doesn't. What was I gonna say? Yeah, they're very like grey lines and very blurred lines and stuff. And then also it's quite a common thing to have to what people call ADHD, where you're autistic and have ADHD. And I think some of the things I'm interested in sometimes, I'm like, I'm too interested in this for this to be normal. At the same like anything to do with like kind of like tech stuff, like production related tech stuff, or just like the thing that makes me think it a lot is I'm really like interested in I like, but also it's an ADHD thing, I guess.
But is that not just a passion, like a deep interest?
Yeah.
Like, what's the line between I really like this thing versus I have autism?
Sometimes
Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes it's the thing specifically that it's like it's not even that interesting, but like, I guess that is a passion. But also like I'm like I will go down a rabbit hole, and so if I'm looking for something like really, really, really like kind of specific about it, I need to find out A, if what I think is like possible or true, whatever the thing might be, or B, like I need to discover this. Like I need to go down this rabbit hole until I discover this specific thing about it, or like whatever. Like I just like, and I won't keep track of time when I'm doing it. But also it's an ADHD thing. The thing that I was going to say that I think is a bit of like a weird interest and stuff, I really like, but it's also a bit of like a reverse thing because it's because I can't stand things that are like inefficient or like things that can be like automated, for example, on like, I don't know, like work related things or like just things that can be more efficient. If I can make it more efficient, I want to know how to do it, and I will do whatever it is to figure out how that needs to be done to put that in place and stuff. Even if it's like a weird like workplace system, or like if it's on like a Discord thing, you can get like bots that do shit and stuff. Like I just go super like the things that I'm interested in, I feel like I'm either so much more deeply interested than the average person in, or like I just don't give a shit at all. I'm either like it's not 100 or 0, it's either like 400 or 0 for me. But yeah, that
anyway,
yeah,
we
that
went
puts an end
from
to our
we went
suspicions.
from science to am I
Still
on
a
the
bit-
spectrum?
Yeah, still a bit sciencey.
I mean, still brainy, still much to think about, still picking apart, our thought processes and that.
That was our Brainiac episode.
Well, you've really just delved into what's going on in our minds. So
Facts.
I hope it was worth it, and I hope you're satisfied with what we spoke about, because we really dug deep for you guys.
Facts. If you did enjoy it, as always, if you're listening on our favorite audio platforms, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please do give us a 5-star rating or whatever rating you feel is appropriate.
Yep.
And I believe you can even comment. If you can comment on audio platforms, please do it to let us know that you can do that. I didn't know that as a thing until I saw it the other day.
Comment something really friendly.
Yes, and if you are on with us on YouTube and you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, please subscribe. If you aren't on YouTube and you want to watch us, come over to the YouTube and drop a subscribe. We drop episodes every Sunday at 6 p.m. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you next week for episode 11. So,
and
yes, follow us on our Instagram.
how
and our
could we
TikTok.
forget?
Quickly as well, we had a TikTok from our second last episode that went out, talking about the smart schoolboy 9 situation on TikTok. That thing's just climbing. It's on like 120k views right now, which is like, thank you
120?
guys.
I thought it was 100.
It keeps going up. It's on like 120k views the last time I checked.
Guys, I can't nip to the shop to buy a pint of milk anymore. I'm getting papped.
This is the beginning, guys. But yeah, follow us on Instagram, TikTok at everythingnothing.pod. It's on the screen in the video. You've heard it here on the audio. And other than that, we hope you join us for next week, episode 11. So we'll see you then.
Lucky 11. Love you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Stop. This is just turning into a fucking brain rot podcast now.
I'm scared. It's going to be a jump scare, Freakbob.
Stop, man. Why are you showing me? You've now got to send me all of these.
Do you like this transition? Nah, I can't send you all of them. I can't remember all of them.
It's just turned into a fucking brain rot. Fuck, stop.